Hello, and welcome to Can I Beat Subnautica Below Zero with only a prawn suit? The rules for this run are simple. I can only use a prawn suit to get around. No sea glide and no sea truck. There are no mods installed either, so with the rules out of the way, let's get into the run. I found my drop pod and a little fishy that I picked up on my travels. I then went to say hi to the neighbours. I did steal their food, but they ate it from my hand anyway, so that was really cute. It was time to craft, so I got the knife first, concerning how this was my first choice. Next was the O2 tank, because I need to breathe a little bit, not VIP breathing just yet apparently. Next was the fins, even though they aren't super helpful. And finally we got the scanner, which I really should have made first, come to think of it. Equipped with the scanner, I went to explore and found an outpost. I scanned a snowman, and this is a very important thing to scan. I then destroyed the snowman because I am a monster. I scanned a bit of the prawn suit since this is very much an important part of this run. Unfortunately I can't scan the arms here, but I can at least get the habitat builder, after getting stuck momentarily. I grabbed a beacon as I don't know this map well at all, so I'll be completely lost without them. I then made the mineral detector. It's not great, but it's better than nothing. I then got a better oxygen tank, so now I have VIP breathing. I then also grabbed the habitat builder just because it's useful. Delta Station was the next destination on our list, and an unknown woman told me I was trespassing, which is interesting since this is an alien planet. Speaking of the woman, she almost crushed me. Not the best first impressions in my opinion. I can't lie though, it was definitely an impression I will not be forgetting anytime soon. I found the mine, and I immediately left a beacon because there is no way I'm finding this again without one. I built a little base along with some power because I still don't have a vehicle to use, so I need a little base. I headed into the mine and built a corridor base around 250 meters down so I can power it and breathe. Unfortunately, my timing was very much off and I went way too deep without any breath, so I died. This time I powered the base and was able to build a hatch and get a nice little oxygen pocket going. I got my last fragment and can finally build the prawn suit. Realising I actually needed the mobile vehicle bay as well, I went and found the blueprints for this. I then built the mobile vehicle bay since it's not a very complex build. And then it was time to build the prawn suit. I did spend a good chunk of time gathering everything for this beast. The prawn suit then needed a home, so I decided to make him one. Unfortunately, I couldn't actually power the little home I made him because I built it too high. I then rebuilt the moon pool a little bit lower so I could actually attach, some power to it this time. So that's what I did. I then entered the moon pool and built the mobile vehicle console. And I named him Fred, which was requested by chat. It was then time to go deep into the mine since I could finally breathe now. I then scanned my first alien artifact, which was not necessary right now. I then struggled to catch this piece of silver while it was not really necessary to put this in the video. I thought it was quite funny. I then made a drill arm for my suit. Resources galore await me. I also found an adorable little robot crab thing, so I scanned him just for fun. So I was under the impression that the alien trapped inside the pretty spinning cube would be sucked into my tablet PDA. The miscommunication here was that he thought my brain was a hard drive. My brain is not a hard drive, my brain is a brain. But for whatever reason, he does not understand that because he is a cyborg alien robot man. So now I have an alien in my brain who can talk to me kind of telepathically, but also not really because he's literally sat in my brain. This is a very disturbing circumstance. With my new alien mind friend, I decided to head to the new point of interest, where the last pilot was apparently seen. As I fell deeper and deeper, I found the mysterious woman again, and her incredibly awesome base. Going inside, I almost got eaten alive by her pet stalker, which I am very jealous of, by the way. I grabbed the test override module, which is a vital thing for the story about finding my sister, which is apparently why I'm here. After leaving Marguerite's base, I found the Omega base. I scanned a really cool bedspread inside and found an awesome picture. Exploring further after the Omega base, I found a spaceship. I then almost drowned while exploring said spaceship, so I decided to leave and come back later. Back home, I planted some of my new Chinese potato plants that I found on the ship. During an exploration mission, an adorable sea monkey offered me a piece of quartz, which was so cute. Look at his tiny fingers. I'm obsessed. Getting a bit deeper now, and we're going down to the cotton biome to grab some anemones. The frustration with finding this next artifact was unreal. After 40 plus minutes of unpleasant searching, I finally found the goddamn thing. It was then time to swim into what I believe is an asshole? A pretty asshole, but an asshole nonetheless. All for some ugly ass plants. After forcefully exiting the asshole, a giant prawn made itself known, and I had to wait for it to leave, because no. I then found the Mercury 2 spaceship, and spelt the name wrong, so in embarrassment I just called it Spaceship. Don't judge me, please. With a new tier of depth upgrade, I was able to explore a bit deeper now. Probably a dumb idea to build a water filtration unit on a base powered only by solar panels, but I did. I then remembered that you should reinforce a base, because I've flooded way too many bases to have forgotten to do this. It was time to give Fred a makeover, and I do say he looks a lot better now. Even though I already scanned this artifact when I found the mine originally, I apparently needed Alan to be in my head when I saw the artifact, because he doesn't have access to my memories or anything. I then added a scanner to my base to make gathering resources just a bit easier. And then realizing my mistake, I built a bioreactor to ensure that we could actually have power. Since I can go down deeper now, it's time to head to that cotton biome again. Down there I found a skeleton. Super not creepy at all, especially since I found him in a reflection garden that was seemingly used for mourning. I guess we're mourning him now. Sorry, buddy. I then accidentally came across another site. He looks like he would have been cute when he was alive. I built the prawn suit grapple arm just to help with mobility a little bit. And finally, after hours of playtime, I got the rebreather. Took me long enough. Alan did give me another location to visit, but unfortunately the giant shrimp has other ideas. After the shrimp threw me down a hole, I did get the item scanned for Alan, so he was kind of useful in the end, I guess. I found a little pathway leading past some jelly eyeball things, so I labelled the beacon Actually, I believe. On land, I built a little base for storage, and then walked all the way to Fire Robotics. Inside I found Sam's room, dishevelled and apparently not right. Not sure what that means, it just looks like I had a messy sister. Apparently using the prawn suit to alarm on a stalker stunlocks them to death, which is good to know. Unfortunately, what's also good to know is this is not how you get the stalker fare. I quickly made the hydraulic fluid for the bridge so I could have access to the other side of the dry land, and then went straight back to the bridge to install said fluid into the appropriate hole. I got my first glimpse of the ice worms, kind of. Apparently they don't always burst forth from the ground, and sometimes they're just out for a little afternoon stroll. Other times they do burst out and scare players half to death, which you can see by my face in this clip. I then found another artifact, the greenhouse, which I realise is an odd place for a greenhouse since there is a tropical biome on the other side of the planet, which would be easy to access if you're an ancient alien civilization with warp technology, but guess not. We then got a very aesthetic shot of a worm at sunset. Lovely. A little less aesthetically pleasing this time, but still terrifying. That was Stalker. Also, I know they're snow stalkers, but I just call them stalkers because they're stalkers, you know? It was then time to almost get my ass ate by an ice worm. Thankfully, I was just able to dodge, but that was a pure fluke and had nothing to do with my skills or abilities. I then found a corpse, yay! Which honestly seems like an appropriate response to this. On the way back, the ice worm did try to skewer me, and then another one ate a stalker. I also decided I wanted to try to ride one because chat suggested it would be fun, but unfortunately I didn't make it in time. One final attempt at grabbing the ice worm did confirm that they are only figments of my imagination and do not have a physical form. I've not been on this planet long, but the madness has set in quite quickly. I needed to sleep in my own bed to cure myself of the madness, so I decided to build Sam's bed, which, if you didn't know, is my name in real life, so it's my bed now. After spending a little bit too long decorating, I do have a decent looking bedroom considering there's very few decorative objects in this game. Back to exploring, and Alan asked me to go and scan something else, so I did, and this one actually gave me some ion battery blueprints, so it was pretty worthwhile. It was then time to start exploring the shipwreck properly. I found the first processor, and then the second processor, and finally the third processor. It was then time to craft the test override module. This was to progress with the Sister is Missing part of this game's storyline. While unable to see anything at all, I somehow connected the complex override module to the highly advanced scanner system. I then powered it on, and even Alan was impressed. That's saying something from a technologically advanced alien civilization. Marguerite then invited me to her greenhouse, and I visited because it's impolite to refuse an invitation to somebody's house. Wandering back home, I then found a crashed Architect satellite. Alan didn't even direct me to this one, I just found it. I really wanted to go deeper, and after far too long searching, I finally found the location of the Crystal Caves. Please ignore the spelling, I was absolutely terrified as I know what lives down here. Thankfully, I quickly found some kyanite that I so desperately needed, and then it was time to come face to face with this game's big bad. I tried to run away and clearly got caught after just a few seconds, and this time it was time to be gnawed on, disgustingly, and out of pure panic and adrenaline, I did try to fight the Shadow Leviathan, and its hitbox is absolute trash. So after it ate me again, I did some more damage and left, because I'm a kind person and I would have won this fight. Seeing my absolute failure to fight the Shadow Leviathan, chat decided to ask me to fight the giant prawn, so I did to recoup some of this pride that I seem to have misplaced. For whatever reason, the Leviathan didn't seem to want to fight me, so as the giant prawn swam away, I took that as a win. It was a bit weird for both of us, I didn't really know how to respond. Usually they tried to kill me and do so immediately, so it running away was a very unusual feeling. I took the kyanite back and crafted the thermal reactor, so I didn't need to worry about my suit's power, which was nice. With the modification station placed down, I was able to make the Mark II depth upgrade for the prawn suit. This meant I could venture even deeper into the red cube zone, which his name eludes me. I unfortunately found another Shadow Boy prowling around this zone as well. Emboldened by chat, I fought the Leviathan briefly before running away. He did then glitch back to try to kill me again, but he failed, so I win again, I guess. I did find the fabricator room, but I'm still missing one of the recipes, so I need to go back anyway. I mean, they do call you Shadow Leviathans, and that was kind of stealthy, so well done for creeping up on me. Next, it was time to go into the big crystal tunnel cave thing. I then grabbed the weirdly placed organs. Like, how did they not rot? Or why were they just open to the environment? Surely the little spider bots could have put them away or something. It's just messy. I then spent far too long collecting all of the body parts needed for Alan. But I did, and I headed back to the fabricator room without issue, somehow. I was able to craft each of these body parts, but I genuinely forgot how long each one takes. It's like 22 seconds or something. It tells you in the top corner. After the skeleton came the tissues. Weird, but okay. Alan also told us that he was the big bad of Subnautica for releasing the virus, which is so dramatic. And then we made some organs and got a little bit more lore about Alan. Not too much though. And now we actually get to watch a really cool animation about Alan's entire body being created, which honestly is one of my favourite animations of this entire game. We then put Alan back into a physical form and out of my brain, thankfully. Must be very strange going from a being of pure thought and energy into an actual body in just a couple of seconds. Thankfully it's not something I will ever experience. Time to walk through the visual glitch cave to meet Alan. I found him inserting a C battery into a machine. Like, I could have made a C battery this entire time, dude, just you should have asked. Alan told me that it was time to go, and while I do want to go with him, and that is why I play this game, I kind of forgot that I'm actually here to find out what happened to my sister, so I told Alan, I will 100% be going with you, but right now I'm going to nip off, avenge my dead family members super quickly, and then we can head out on our first date. And he was okay with that, so that's what I'm going to do. I found a security bunker in a cave, which was a very odd position for it.
Strange place for a security bunker.
Turns out that there was a huge frozen leviathan within the walls of this cave, and Alan started talking to me again, and they also found a very unique and ugly necklace that belongs to my dead sister. Ignoring the Alan being in my head again situation, I scanned the creature's toes, because what else do you do when presented with such an opportunity in this day and age? I then scanned his spotty face, but that's much less interesting. I then went back to base and crafted a spy pangolin. I completely forgot you needed one of these adorable little critters to get the antidote. I also somehow remembered exactly where this antidote was hidden and did not spend hours searching for it. Honestly. It was then time to fulfill Sam's plan to destroy the bacterium once and for all. But who cares, because it's time for my first date with Alan. Apparently, Alan's idea of a first date includes building IKEA furniture, so I grabbed his incredibly cool floating arm things and got to work. After almost trapping us here for all eternity, I did put the pillar in the right place. Alan then had what only can be described as a Sailor Moon moment and became a spaceship. That's not exactly how I remember that show going, but either way, first date, great fun, 10 out of 10. After then getting a mild concussion, which could also be the sign of a good first date, I braced myself for Alan's lifeless corpse to fly us through the universe. This is getting to become a very strange first date, Alan. And that's it for us. Me and Alan traversing space together so I can meet maybe his parents or his creators or his pod. I don't know, we haven't discussed that far ahead in the relationship yet. But that is the game over. We successfully got Alan home, I avenged my sister, I fucked over a multi-trillion-dollar company that spans space and time, I don't know. But either way, fantastic game, 10 out of 10 would recommend, and clearly I can beat Subnautica Below Zero with only a prawn suit. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you've had a fantastic time as I did making this, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye!